we will be continuing where we left off. I think my screen is having some issues, but yeah, I guess it's fine now. So yeah, let's go back to our Readme. Right. So we fixed all the type errors. I think there was something in. Let's take a look at all the API functions one by one and see if there's anything pending there. Otherwise, I think we are good. So next auth. Is this complaining about something? It doesn't look like that. What about delete? I think all of this is something we had already tested. The only thing that we need to test for is the listener, because listener has its own ts config file, right? So if we look at it now, it doesn't seem to be throwing any errors, but then what if I try to... okay, it seems fine. So I think all the errors are fixed now, so that's good. Let me also have my Twitch window open here. Should be all right now. Let me just rename the stream to... I think this is stream 16, but rest of it looks fine. Yeah. Okay. So going back here, right? So there's nothing here. We can just go to the README and that's it. So within the README, we have this clean the UI up, right? We want to make some changes there. So right now this is what it looks like. Not really a fan of this, so I would really want to improve this. The player itself and the header section. So that's one thing, and then on the admin side we just have this additional bits with this thing, like delete and update and the checkbox and all of that. So let's work on it. Let's start with the header, I guess. We don't have a footer, I think. Yeah, we don't. Right now we don't. So let's go to the header. Right. Let me see. Like I think we can do like JSX, or what is it called? Like styled something. So within Next, I have completely lost track. But then there's a CSS module that we can use. Like CSS and JS support is there, but then what it is called and how to use it, I've completely lost track. So let's see. I think we can embed it within the file itself as well. There's option of doing CSS modules, but then I'm not really a fan of. Yeah, but I think we'll have to do it anyways. Where is it's called? Yeah, this one, right? Styled JS. Right? Yeah, this is the one I was talking about, and then we can directly do like divs and all of that. I think let's do this style J6. I'm good with this. What do we import in that case? Do we import anything? I don't think we need to import anything, but let's see. So going over here, let's add, like before we sort of close every fine, but that wouldn't be module in that case. Yeah, it would be just a CSS import. Okay, so let's go to our underscore app.tsx. Yeah, we already have global.css, right? So I think we don't need to do much. Just go to that file and update that. Yeah, so we have a default here. We don't want to use Apple system or like the default device fonts. I want to use something from the one I'm using for my my chat on Twitch. So let's see. So the font that you see here, right, like by itself is the font that you're seeing on the screen. This is the one I want to use. It's called VTX something, so let me figure that out. It's there on Google Fonts. So just use this and replace this here. It is of type monospace, and it's probably somewhere here. Yeah, VT323, right? So I'll add, select this, embed, and then we'll just use this link tag. Yep. And then I think with an app itself, we'll embed it here, unless there's a, yeah, we don't have HTML file with Next.js, so I think I'll have to import head as well. Yep. So let's close this, and then I'll just print it out here. Hopefully this works, although it seems to be having some issues. So what's the issue here? Does it need a closing tag? I think that is what it is. It says left side of the comma operator is unused and has no side effects. Okay, let's make this bigger and then see. What do we mean by left side of comma? Okay, let's actually, before I do this, right, like let's wrap this, all of it, in a fragment and then see. Yeah, the error goes away. I haven't fixed my COC, by the way, so yeah, maybe we'll get to that as well. But okay, so this is something we have imported. Now let's go to global. Global. Oh, come on. Okay, so now the font name is, this is what we'll use. So let's replace this here. We'll get rid of this line. Okay, now let's have the server running. I think I have it running here. So let's open localhost 3000. And yeah, let's see. Okay, so the font has changed here, as you can see. So it's taking in the effect. So that is good. Now the next thing was, I also wanted to use that background that I have. So let's move that here. I have a, do I have a copy of it? I don't think so. Where can I get it from? I don't think I have access to it anywhere. Yeah, that is a problem. But then okay, let's not worry too much about it. Let's do the rest of the stuff, and then I'll sort of copy it from my other laptop. Background, we'll make it black. Yeah, I think black is fine for now. Right, and then the color would be white. So yeah, this is something we can start with, and then what I'm thinking is like that the sound bites recorder bit would be part of the header itself. It would be on the left, and this would all go on the right side, right? So, and in that case, let's go to the header component. We would always want to show the sound bite recorder part of it, and then everything else would come in gradually, right? So from that, like considering all of that, I think like all of this should be the right section. And then if I do a export const header, and then, or let's do this, like let me copy this over to the very bottom, and then here what we return is the header tag, header, right? And then right over here we do like a we want a h1, and it would be a link. So let's import that link, and link takes in the prop. What I think it takes an href. Yep. So this would be an href to slash, right? And within that we'll just have an a which says sound bite recorder. We'll close the a, we'll close the link as well, and with that the h1 too. So now this is all good. Yeah, now it's throwing errors that like what's the error now? Okay, these are unused, right? Which is fine. The other thing that I need to do is I need to rename it. I'll call it header meta. So it has all the header metadata, and then to this I'll pass in or rather just use the method here, and to this we'll pass in session, which is session, and then loading, which is loading, and that should be pretty much it. Yep. So now we can theme the header, right, as per our needs. Let's make this bigger. You don't need too big of a screen right now, so we'll make it smaller. The browser smaller and the Vim window bigger. Next thing I want to do here is what do we want to do? We want to open up the global styles so that I can write the code here. So actually I want to split it, so let's open header on the side as well. Alright, so it's called header right now. So header would have a display flex. Alright, if we do that to get started, okay, so we see like soundbite recorder and then sign in and then admin. So it's a bit confusing because admin shouldn't show up as such. So okay, maybe it was a caching issue that, yeah, now it's showing up as expected. So we don't want to show this bit, we want to show the name, the image, and then the sound bites button, right? So I think first of all we have done a display flex, right? So we'll do like flex or rather to justify content space between, so that should do that. And then also we'll do like align items to be on the center vertically. Yeah. And then the header should have some padding, so let's add a padding of I'm not sure what height it's, or like what kind of padding it has. It might be due to the h1. Yeah, h1 has some margin, right? So let's remove the margin from the h1 first of all, and then add some padding, right? So I'll say like margin should be 0, and then padding can be 1 rem on both the axes. So this looks better. And then we can also add a max width of 600 pixels, right? And then margin to be auto, right? So that like in case my window is bigger, it's still center aligned, but yeah, 600 seems too small, so let's make it 800, I guess. So let's make it 800. Yeah, looks much better. Now going back to the header here quickly, where is it? So in here I want to get rid of this user ID because that is not of any value actually, right? So you just want to show the user's name, then we have the image, and then we have the sign out button, right? So why does this not look, or why is this taking so much space, right? Because because this is put in a fragment rather than a div. So if I just put it in a div, these would all stick to each other suddenly, like the name, the image and the button, right? All of them are sticking together, which is good. Now I want to do some styling on this as well, so let's do that. Let's add a class called or rather a class name called header meta, right? So we will take this and then apply some styles here. So we'll call it header meta. This would be again display flex, and then we will make it align items center so that they are vertically aligned. This is better. Now there should be some spacing, and I'm not really happy with the way the image is big in the middle and then there are these two areas. So let's see how other applications do. Let's take a look at, say, like GitHub for some patterns around this. So they just have this user image and then everything is under that. That is something we can consider, but yeah, I don't want to put sign out, like keep it hidden. Maybe I can move it in front of the name. That is something we can try, right? So right here, so we can just take this, move it in front of it, yeah, and then accordingly we can theme it, right? So okay, I didn't mean to do that. Go away. Okay, now let's add a class on the button so that we can use it in other places as well. Our class name is btn. Alright, this would be btn. Border would be 5 pixel solid, or rather groove, white. The color would be also white. We could probably make it current color, right? So that works. And then background would be transparent, right? Yeah. The button doesn't have the same styles as you can see here, right? So we'll probably just take this bit and move this down here. So this is good enough. I think we can make it slightly smaller than 5 pixels. So reduce this to 3. Let's see. Yeah, slightly better. Then the font could be a bit bigger, so we can make it 1 rem. Yep. And then the most important thing is to add some margin right on it. So we'll make it 2 rems. Yeah, much better, I guess. Similarly, I want to address the image and the name as well. So name is quite small too, but let me see like what is the default size being set currently, because this seems small. So if I do like font size of 1 rem or 16 pixels, yeah, I think it's that currently. But how about we reduce the image height to be 25? 25 would be too small, so 30 looks like a decent number. Maybe 35. Yeah, 35 sounds good. So let's make it 35. That would be here. Instead of 50, we'll do 35 right over here. And we'll, rather than just doing inline style, let's move them to CSS. We'll call it avatar, or why not just image, more clear, right? So we'll use the class image. We don't have any other images on the site, so that's fine. 35 pixels. Border radius would be in this case 50%, and then we also need margin left to be 1 rem. I think that should satisfy it, as long as I get the name right. HAGHT, and then we can get rid of styles altogether from here. So this is what it looks like, which is still an upgrade, right? So from what we were seeing before. So if we make it bigger, yeah, this is what it looks like. So yeah, I think this is good enough. Then let's now move on to with this font. I'm thinking like maybe let's add some letter spacing, because it seems a bit too condensed. Let's make it 0.5 pixels. Yeah, I think this is good enough. Now moving on. Yeah, I think we want to address this whole section. This one, make it narrower, and so on. Okay, so let's, rather than starting with the admin page, I want to start with the home page, which has all the listing. Okay, what do we need here? Why do we have admin showing up? Okay, yeah, I just realized that we also need some navigation in our header, right? So let's do that. Let's add that in. Why can't I move? Right over here, yeah. So right in between these, I want to add nav, and the way nav works is like we'll have just two links, home and admin. Home actually we don't need, because soundbites recorder is already that. We just need to add admin, right? And currently I think it's coming from, like, if I go to index, do we have admin here? Yeah, we do. So we'll just grab it from here and move it right within this navigation. So okay, so I think, yeah, we have it here now in the middle. Let's see, if I make it bigger, it's fine. Yeah, it seems fine to me. If I click on this, I get redirected to the admin page. Yep, looks good. Okay, then we can get rid of link altogether from here. Going back to global, what I want to do is I want to make the global fonts slightly bigger. So let's go here and make the default size to 18 pixels maybe, rather than 16. How about 20 even? Apparently Control A doesn't work. Oh, okay, I think like that would be because I'm within tmux maybe, and Control A is my binding for tmux. But yeah, if I make it 20 pixels, yeah, it gets a bit too big, so let's revert it back to 18. So 18 should be fine. Yeah, 18 looks fine. Even on a smaller screen, it looks fine. So that's good. Going to index. Now the first thing I want to do is get rid of this title that we have on the page, because we already have this. Yeah, now we want a section for recording, or let's come back to recording later on. Let's just have a player or that's not even a player, right? Like it's just bytes, a string of bytes. So let's theme bytes. Okay, with bytes we have the player, the name. There isn't much we can do with the player, right? So there isn't a lot to be done. Let me just delete these styles. Yeah, this is what it looks like. Okay. So right now we just need to theme this div. Let's add a class called byte is a appropriate name, right? It's a singular. So right over here we'll open global, and then we'll just theme the byte. Okay, so the way I'm thinking is to avoid okay, need to open that. To avoid wasting too much space, we can probably have the text next to the recording, right? And then yeah, that should be it. But before that, going back to the index, we can have on this div, you can have a class of container. Let's call this container for now, and here let's do this right over here. We'll again call this container, and then it will have the following styles, right? We just need padding and margin and max width, these three properties, and that should be it, so that it is aligned to the center, right? So that's fine. Also below the header, let's add some padding, or rather a border. So we'll have a border bottom, border bottom of 10 pixel groove white, right? And then there is padding of 1 rem, but then also there should be a margin bottom 1 rem. So this won't work. Let's just add it here because we already have a margin auto. So we'll make a margin auto of not even on the top, we'll just make it on the bottom. Say 1 rem here. I feel like this can be a little bit more. Let's do a little bit more, right? So let's do 4 rems. Yeah, and increase the padding, at least the top bottom padding to 2, and this can stay 1 rem. I think that is fine. Same thing applies here as well. So let's copy this over. Yep. So if we look at it, this is what it looks like. Yeah, it looks much better. Now the other thing is these recordings, right? So these bytes that we want to theme. So let's open bytes here, and then over here we want to theme the bytes. Okay, so I don't want to theme the bytes, or I don't want to theme the player right now, even though like that would be nice, but let's come back to that in a bit. So let's make this background white. Yep. And then let's add some padding of say 2 rems, and then margin bottom of 2 rems as well. Yep. Within this, the color would be, because the background is white, the color would be black. Okay. And do we have a wrapper around bytes? We do. So we'll call this bytes instead of byte. So this would be bytes, and we'll have a margin top of 2 rems. How about that? This should have worked. Yeah, it does work. Now within a singular byte, the font size is too small, so I'll make it bigger. So I'll say font size should be at least 2 rems, so it's bigger, easily readable. Right, this looks better. Now all of these are p tags, so that's why there's so much spacing between them. But again, that is fixable. So let's do this. The way the byte is structured is we have a player and then we have all the data, right? So we'll say we'll add a div here. We'll close the div. Let's just copy paste this and then add a class on top of this called class name is byte meta. So now on the byte itself we can add flex. So this would be display flex, right? And we can do align items to be vertically aligned on the center, right? And these are sticking to each other, so let's also do justify content space between, right? Since we can't do a gap on flex, we'll just do, I'm thinking just doing byte and everything directly inside of it. Let's just add a width of 45% or maybe 48. We'll see. Right, so yeah, this is what it looks like. I think this is fine. Now I want to fix the date and all. The name should be bigger and these two things should be smaller. So going back here, let's wrap all of this inside. It's already byte, so let's say class name would be small, right, something like this, and then right over here, so in case we use small within byte, font size would be 1 rem. Let's see how that looks. Too small, so let's make it 1.5. Too big, let's make it 1.25 in that case then. Yeah, this somewhat looks better. Now the other thing is that within byte, all the p tags shouldn't have margin bottom. Byte and p, let's get rid of margin bottom to start with, and then we'll see like what we want the value of it to be. We'll start with 0, but then we'll modify it as we go along. Yeah, this I don't want to, so let's completely get rid of the margin. Yeah, I think this is fine. What we can do in that case now is let's add a class here. Let's call it byte dash name, right? So now byte dash name would have a specific margin, right? So it will be margin bottom of 1 rem. It's not really reflecting for some reason. How about we increase it to 3? It doesn't seem to be working, so let's take a look. So this is by dash name. Okay. Yeah, it's a specificity issue, I guess. So the way we can fix it is let's add classes on these two as well. So or maybe I can do is within small all the p we get rid of. Okay, we'll make this there shouldn't be nothing, only on bottom we want margin of 1 rem, right? So this is very specific. Okay, so this looks fine. We have all these sounds, we have all the names. Make it bigger. This is what it looks like if I go to admin by chance. What does that look like? Okay, it looks similar somewhat. So some of our work is already addressed, which is good. The other thing I want to do is fix the date, fix the name, right? So the date doesn't look formatted at all. So how do we address this, right? So where are we getting the date from? So the date is coming in as a string, right? So we are getting created on here we are printing the by dot created on. So if I do let date is equal to by dot created on, so we already have the date. We could probably do new date and then pass it the date value and then update the date again here. What is it complaining about? It's complaining that type date is not assignable to string. Okay, because this is now a string, so we'll say that it can either be a string or a date, right? So be happy with that. So now if I just use instead of created on, if I now use date here, what does that look like? Broken. Okay, so it says like object is not valid. Okay, so how about we do to string? I don't know. Yeah, this looks like what we want, at least something like that. So if I do so we can do a get day, right? So this should be 11. No, oh, that's get date would be the correct, I guess. Yeah, 11 9 and so on. So that's one thing. And then we want I think we can get the month name and so on, right? So I don't remember the exact syntax, so let's look. I think like it's like localize using localization API, but JavaScript get month name. We can do this. Yeah, we don't want to use moment. I think yeah, this one to local string, right? So this is what we want to do. So we have a date, we just do a to local string. Can we do multiple items from this? That would be nice. We can't. Okay, so no worries. We will do let month be equal to, let's do this, right? So new date. This is being passed to this here, so it won't certainly be a string, it will just be a date. So we don't need to type it at all. I think it's wise enough to pick that. So yeah, it's saying it's date. Month would be date to local string, to local date string. So returns a date as a string. Okay, let's see what this returns. I'm not sure, but let's see. So how about we use this? I'm not sure, but this would be interesting to see. Okay, this is good enough, right? Like this is something we can work with, right? So how about what we do here is we just call this method. Let's do something like this, right? So in that case, this can be a const we can just use date here. Right. Yep, this looks fine. Now the other thing that we want to do is fix the name. So, and considering all of this, okay, let's not worry too much about this, but then we can add a class on this called byte author. So if I go here now, so add this class called byte author, and in here what we want is I think this should again be display flex and align items middle or center, because currently it isn't and it does look odd. And I'm also thinking, like, what if we move this next to this thing? Yep. So how can we do that, right? Like, is this all wrapped in a common div? It's difficult to tell without proper formatting, so let's format it. Yeah, it is, right? So it's within bytes meta. So do we have bytes meta here? We don't. So if I do byte meta, do a text. Okay, let's not do it on this thing. But what I'm thinking, like the date, the small part can all be display flex, right? So let's do this over here. Do a justify contents space between. Too much, but yeah, okay, that's fine. And then do align items here. Yeah. How about we do bytes meta and then text align center. How does that look? That doesn't work at all, apparently. How come bytes meta is not flex, right? So how is that it's not aligning it to center? Byte meta. Okay, because it's not bytes, it's byte. So this should work. Yep. I think it's slightly better, but at the same time it's difficult to look at as well. With this being in the center, I am not really sure. Okay, how about we do this? To the byte, we add margin of 2 rems. So let's do this, and then add padding. No, we want to add a border, right? So border of 5 pixel groove byte. Just give me a second. I'll be right back. Alright folks, sorry about that, took me a while than what I was anticipating, but here we are. So yeah, I want to add some spacing around this. I think border wouldn't help. Maybe we could try box shadow. Let's see, but then we won't be able to get that groove effect, but let's figure that out first. So does that help? It does not. You're adding padding here, so yeah, I think like the border would stick next to. Oh, okay, I see what the issue is. Yeah, because the color is on this, so how about we do like say 10 pixel border of. Can we do multiple borders? I don't think we can do multiple borders unless things have changed. Solid red. Yep, that doesn't work, but we can certainly do multiple box shadows, so let's do that instead. Let me save this first. Let's do box shadow 5 pixels solid, or rather 10 pixel, or maybe 20 pixels even. This would be 0 20 pixels, 0 transparent, and then 0 20 10 pixel, 0 white, something like this. Oh, that didn't work, but yeah, we can debug it. So okay, yeah, this should be this shouldn't be, this is y-axis. How about we try this? Yeah, this is blur, so this should actually be the fourth value, and there shouldn't be a 0 here, right? So something like this might work. I say might because I'm not really sure. How about now? Okay, so the way we have box shadow is, why is it -4 pixels? It's weird. Okay, yeah, we have a spread of, let's actually change the color here to red. This is fine. How about this one? So if you make it, yeah. Okay, so the, okay, so how about we make this 10, keep this keep this white, and make this 20 and make this transparent. Nope. So the white one, let's make it green, right? And the 20 pixel one, let's make it blue. With no opacity. So the 20 pixel one is the outer one, so that is how it should be. How about we make it black? No, that doesn't help. So the 20 pixel one should be the white, right? And this 10 pixel should be, let's make it red instead of transparent for a bit. Yeah, this is what we want. And if I make it transparent, that wouldn't help because it will take the background color, right? Yeah. So let's make it black for now, right? Something like this. And then do we need to increase the margin bottom to be more than what it is? Maybe 3 rems. Yep, maybe in that case 4, so it's properly separated. Yeah, not a really big fan of this, but okay. Yeah, should do. I think this is good enough. Let's make this let's make this rounded, add some margin on it, and then it should be fine. And then fix this record button as well. So where is the record? Okay, record button is a separate component, so let's not worry about that. but what we can do instead is what can we do? We want to fix the image. So let's I don't really want to. Okay, let's just do a class name of image, and let's see if that does anything in our favor. Yeah, it does. So this is fine, although I want to keep the inline styles as well. So this is much better, right? The other thing that was there is okay, that should be it for how about we try, how about like, because I haven't tried it really, how about I go to bytes, right? I do a display grid template columns of 1 fr and a grid gap of 5 or 20 pixels is fine. How about that? Okay, this breaks, but then let's see what do we have here. So immediately I think this could be a lot more than this, so that make it 50, right? So it accommodates accordingly. And then how about we get rid of the flex on this thing. Let's get rid of this for a second. Yep. Why? Okay, I think like because we are limiting the space somewhere here, right? This is something we can get rid of. Yeah, much better actually. So we don't have the, I think we don't have the meta viewport thingy going on here. So let's see, do we have, we don't have it, right? So because I don't remember it, let me get it from somewhere else. So it's yeah, this should be enough. Let's do edit as HTML, copy this over. Let's go to our app component, add it right here. Right, then if we go over here, yeah, still not really happy. It is currently spanning too wide. I think it should accommodate, but let's see why it isn't currently. So if I try reducing the width, oh, I think it might be the just the width that I've set on the container, right? Like it should be, no, it's max width actually, so that's fine. It's probably then the bytes. Is there some hard-coded width? Let's get rid of this box shadow first of all. That doesn't do anything. This is how the grid spans, so the grid doesn't seem to be working as expected either. Let's see what's going on with the bytes, right? So what if I do like display none here? But what display none here, it still spans too wide. I don't know what the issue is now, but let's see. Disable display none. So is it the audio controls that are too wide? It could be. Yeah, it could be, I think. So can we do, I don't know if I can do max width 100% on these. Oh yeah, we can. So how about we do on the audio element? I think like it's similar to iframes and all, so it does support all of that. So currently it's too small, so yeah, but then this looks fine. I think now we can get rid of this box shadow. Yeah, but then I think there should be some. Maybe let's make it 10. How about that? How about it refreshes? It is uncommented, so should have worked. It's back now. So making this half of what it was, and then also making this 10. Yeah, this was much better. Okay, now going a little bit up. Yeah, I think this is quite better than before. It doesn't look too stretched out, and it seems to be using the space correctly, right? So yeah, should be good. Don't know what this border is or where it's applied. I think it's on the container actually, so we can get rid of this. So we go to container, but I think like it might be used on the other page, so let's keep it for a bit. Let's remove these unused styles. So we don't need this, and we don't need neither of these. Okay, there is some issue here. Text content did not match something. Okay, we'll come back to this in case it shows up again. I also want to show approved or unapproved, so let's actually come back to that. Let's fix the recording area. So this would be, what is this called actually? Let's take a look. So we have a recorder, right? So we have a recorder over here, and what it prints out is a button. So how about this, right? So what we can do is we can replace all of the button with button space class name equal to btn /g. Yep. Oh, okay, we did break it though. Let's try again though. I think we can make some adjustments and it should work. So we'll say like it's a starting tag, and then it will only add to the starting tag. Where else? Yeah, the button looks fine. The record button or the pause and stop button, I do want to add emojis in front of it so that it is distinguishable. So let's search for record emoji. I think there's one for record and play and pause, all of that. This is not the one, but I think like we can use this one, and then we can say like play. Let's copy this over. Let's use it right here. We do need a space after this. Where is this coming from? Where does it show R here? Okay, that's gone now. So now we need a play and pause and maybe a stop button as well. So is there a, let's search for pause first of all. Yeah, we have this. Where do we have a play pause? Let's search for button in that case. Let's copy this over Let's go here, paste it. We need a stop. We don't actually need a play button. So we'll just take stop, copy this, and then put it here, and that should be it. Let's see what it looks like. So refreshing the page, I click record, I see play and I see pause and stop, so I can do pause. It says resume. I can do stop. Okay, so this is fine. This section although doesn't look nice, so we'll fix that. But yeah, meanwhile let me go to global and add some padding around the button. We don't have any padding at all, so let's do like 0.25 rims of padding. A little bit more maybe on the side, so that would be like 0.5 rims on the sides. Yeah, much better than before. This is squished now, like you see, like this admin is taking too close to this. I think one quick change that I want to make to this is going to header. Yeah, I want to call this just sound bytes recorder, and then if I go to app, do we have a title here? Apparently we don't, right? So can do a title bytes recorder. This would be our title. How about that? Yeah, I think it. Yeah, but then this would be coming from index. Actually, yeah. Right here. We'll call it bytes recorder, and then if I go to admin, this is there a title on this page? Yeah, there is. So this would be admin colon or rather a pipe and then bytes recorder, right? And I don't think we need it in the app, so we'll get rid of it here. Although like this acts like a catch-all, I think in case there's nothing, it can just use that. So this is bytes recorder, and if I go to admin, yeah, it's admin's pipe bytes recorder. Okay, this is good enough. Why is there a difference or like a slight jump between these two pages? That is something weird, right? Because like there's no padding around this. The header is like 800 pixels and so on, but if I go over here on admin, it's the same. On homepage there's more padding, right? Where is that coming from? So that comes from container. Don't we have a container on admin? In that case we don't apparently, so let's add that. I think it should be there on admin. Yeah, let's add that class here. Class, okay, yeah, because we haven't themed admin at all, so that's what we can expect. But yeah, it's good now. Okay, so going back to the home page, let's theme this now, this section now. Yeah, I want it to look distinct from this whole area, so maybe move the button to the center. Once I click on it, I get these two buttons as well, and then if I click stop, I see a record button. So the buttons should be within the center of the screen, right? So this is a recorder, and what we get from this is all of this. Yeah, this is our return, right? So return should actually give us a div. So it's returning either this or that, right? So probably the best thing to do is just do it in the index file. Yeah. Although this too doesn't feel a right thing to do. Doesn't feel like a right thing to do, right? What is this? Okay, get session doesn't have doesn't require a wait. Okay, that's good. If you don't read it, we will get rid of it. Okay, so let's go to recorder and see like if we can manage this there itself. So here we are returning a ternary, right? So what if we just wrap it, like say like we are returning this div, right? This gets closed here, right? And then we take all of this and wrap it in curlies. How about that? If I do prettier on this, you don't need this empty space. Yeah, I think that should be fine. And then we'll just call it, add a class of a recorder on it. And if I open global here, go down here, theme it. This would be text align center should be sufficient, I think, for just these buttons. Yep. So if I click on record doesn't have the icon in front of it, so that needs to be added. Okay, let's do that. Let's take this guy over here. Did just mean to copy this icon. Come on, why does it copy this whole thing? Yeah, okay. Adding a space over here should fix it. Yep. Now let's add some spacing on this. So the way I'll do this is just add some margin bottom of say 2 rims. Okay, so let's refresh. Okay, now suddenly this is throwing errors. Okay, let's go to index. Apparently it said like it didn't need a wait, but then I feel that I wouldn't have added it unnecessarily as well. This is the only change I had made. Let's see if reverting that does something. Yeah, it does help. So maybe the types are incorrect, who knows. Oh, these are custom defined types. Okay, so okay, okay, I think like all I need to do here is say like it returns a promise of session, and that should be it. If I go to index to the very bottom, yeah, the error goes away because now get session returns a promise of session. Okay, all good here. This is a record button. Click on it. I see these two things. Pause. I get a resume option. I do a stop. Now this is what I want to theme. So the input field looks ugly. Yeah, and then like the play pause thing is also not proper either. So let's go to the recorder again. Are these part of the recorder? I don't think so. Yeah, they are not. So what are these elements then? There's a player and then there is upload. So let's go to upload, because like upload, if I put in something, right, so there's a button there as well. So what is the markup that upload returns? Okay, let's see. So this again should be wrapped in a div. Alright, and then we'll close the div down here, and just right click caps lock. Okay, wrap this all in a curly brace, and that should be it, I think. Now do a prettier run on this. Yep. So this is showing at the bottom. Let's add the button class. So this would actually be, this button would have a class of class name of btn. There is one more case, right? No, there's just one button. Okay. Yep. Now we need to theme the input, so let's do that as well. Let's theme the input. This would be input, border would be 5 pixel solid, or rather groove white. Background, we don't need any background color, right? So we'll make it transparent, and then color would be white. How about that? Let's refresh and then see. Okay, yeah, this wasn't working because we didn't apply the styles here. So this would be called input. How about we record something, stop immediately, and this is what we see. Yeah, this doesn't look right to me. Let's add some padding, or let's add a height. Let's add a line height of 30 pixels. Height of 30 pixels. How does that look? Could be more, right? Let's make it 40, and then 40 as well. Yeah, slightly bigger than what I wanted, so make it 35. Okay, we can do the same thing for button as well. So if I go to button, instead of padding, let's add all of this. Okay, this does mess with it, so let's keep it the same. Now the way I want to do it is, or theme it rather, is put the player and these inputs, right? So this would be called upload form. Let's make it upload form to be text align center. Doesn't work. Why doesn't that work? Because yeah, input field should align, but okay. How about we do display flex, justify content center, although it's called upload dash form. It's the same thing here as well. So let's see what the issue is in that case. Why isn't it moving to the center? Okay, so okay, it's the class is upload here for some reason. Okay, this is upload, but within that we have div, right? Oh, okay, I've missed the closing div. About that does work, right? Okay, let's also do this. Let's grab this. Let's say like for any placeholder, just use this font, right? I think the font size can be bigger, so let's say 0.95 rims. Yeah, that's legible. Should we? Yeah, we can't do like a split of these two, the player and this thing. I don't think that's possible because, or actually it is possible, because upload just shows upload, and then we have the player. So if I go to index, how about we go right over here and then wrap these in a div. The div has a style of display flex. How about that? Yep. But rather than doing it here, let me do it outside. We'll call it there upload. So the worst class name has been used, and then going over here, it's player dash upload, and in here we'll do a display flex. We'll do justify content to be center, justify content center. Nice, right? And then align item center. Yep. The other thing would be space evenly, space around. How does that work? Yeah, actually much better. Although like this isn't aligned, so yeah, this looks weird, right? Like because this is taking too much space, this is not taking enough space, so I'm not too sure. Okay, that's fine, but like let's see the whole thing, because this would have a button and all. So if I click record, I get these two buttons. So one says pause, other says stop. I pause, I get this resume button. I can talk again and it will record all of that. I can click stop, I get this player, and then I can listen to it. Then I get a record, so I'll say like theme name. I get this upload button next to it. I click upload, it says uploading, and then eventually I get this thing here, right? So in a way it's fine. I think like this should have some styling around it, maybe a border or something. So the wrapper for it is like all of this should have a wrapper, right? So let's add a wrapper around this called what should we call it? Naming is not really easy. What should we call it? I am not sure, but we should certainly think of something. Okay, so I'm thinking that this could be just call it record. Hopefully I've not used that class name. And then this section could have a border of 10 pixels or groove, and then white. How about that? Let's start with that. Yep. And then let's add some padding of 2 rims. Okay, why are these sticking out? Okay, this is because it has, yeah, it has box shadow, right? Like we can probably get rid of this box shadow. Where did that go? Byte. Right, so if I get rid of this and add a border of 5 pixel groove white, let's see how that looks, because I think, like, because it's not completely white, it might look decent. Yeah, well, let's increase it, and I think like it should be fine. Let's make it 10 here as well. It somewhat looks fine. How about we make it a different shade, maybe a shade of gray perhaps. Yeah, this looks better actually. So where are we using white? Let's change that, right? So wherever we are using border, so let's go to the very top. So this should be hash a. Similarly here as well. Where is it? Here is the cursor. This is fine. Let's make this a as well. This is already fine. Updating this to yeah, I think the site is updated now. So this looks better than what we had. Maybe we can make it slightly a lighter shade rather than A. We can make it maybe CCC, which is lighter than what we have. So we can replace AA with CCC and do that globally. That not work? That didn't work. Okay, it should be S/. How about that? Yeah, looks better. Okay, so with that, we have this section. I want to see, like, if I sign out, do I still see this? I shouldn't see this. Yeah, it looks better. So yeah, this button looks terrible, so let's fix that. The sign in button, so that should also be in the header itself, I think. Sign in. Yep. So let's add this class to it called button btn. Right, how does that look? Yeah, looks better. Okay, so that is also addressed. Going to the byte component, can we go to the name bit and then put a em around this? How would that look is something I want to see. /em. Nope. Looks bad actually. I don't think strong would work, but let's try. So let's do strong. Yep, doesn't look good either. Okay, so this is fine for now. How about I log in? This page I need to figure out like how we can theme it, or can we just have like a modal directly show, but not too worried about it right now. So this is what we see. We see record here. I'm not sure why there is so much space below this. Right. Okay. So recorder has this margin bottom. What if we get rid of it? We get these two. Okay. So let's add this space on upload rather than on recorder. Okay. So global, we have a recorder. We take this and then it's called player upload, right? So we put this here. So if we now take a look, it should be top though. Yep. And if I refresh, so this shouldn't be here, but it is still there. I think the markup might be there. Okay. Yeah, so we have to see like how to get rid of this markup. So if I go to index player upload, yeah, so we only show this, like the player we don't want to show, upload we don't want to show, we show this only when when there is some audio, right? So what did I do? So whenever there is audio and audio dot data perhaps, and then we show this. Yep. Okay, so if I click record, I see the same thing, no white space below it. I stop, and then there is some data, right? So then it shows all of this, and there's margin top on this. And then if I fill in something, I see this thing. So now the issue is that these are sticking too close to each other. Not too worried about this right now, but I think we can reduce the padding on this to say 1 rem, at least the horizontal padding. Yeah, that should do it. So it's on record. So I'm going to global, going to record and making it 2 rems and then also 1 rem on the sides. Okay, so that should be fine. Yeah, you wouldn't touch this further. Let's just go to admin now. I'm also wondering, like, is there any value of showing the name? Right, like, what if I go to the header? Do we have name somewhere? Right, we have name right over here. So let's do this. Let's add this over here. Yeah, and then I think there was some I think this is fine. Let's just get rid of some space over here, and I don't see a lot of value in adding name and then also image next to it. So we can get rid of this margin right completely, but that is on the button itself. Why does button have margin right? I think we can get rid of it. So let's do global, go to button, get rid of this margin right. I think that should do it. This is fine. Let's look at record once. On the home page, record is here. Yeah, there is no spacing in between these. There should be some spacing, but yeah, this is the only scenario, right? So if I go here, so this is recorder, pause. If I search for it right here, so in between these we need some. So how about we do inline style here, say margin right of 1 rem maybe. Yeah, I think that is good enough. And then right here we want this to stick together, do we? Let's use the same thing on input maybe. That would be an upload input. Let's put this here somewhere. Yeah, I think this is good enough. So considering all of this, I think homepage is fine. let's go back to admin. Yeah, I think like now the only thing that is pending on admin is this bit where we have the form below it. Somehow I wanted to move it within the component. That would have been nice. Let's see like if that is possible right now. So this happens on the admin TSX. Here we have form, right? So what if byte also takes a child? Again, like that is something possible, right? So if we do that, okay, yeah, let's see if byte can take a child. I think that would be nice, right? So if I do, this would become in that case then function component, and it takes in byte I. Yep. We don't need to do a destructuring type thingy here. Let's import this though. Okay, that imported it. Let's move it to the top. Now how about this, like what is the issue that it is giving us? Okay, so it's saying that like byte doesn't exist on type props with children. Okay, so the props sorry, my bad. How do we validate this, right? So I think we have some place or some function rather using function component. No, that's weird. I thought we had some. Okay, but then what is function component, right? So function component takes in a p. Yeah, it takes in a prop which is of type props with children, and yeah, that should be fine. So if we go back to bytes, and we did this on, where did we do it? Yeah, we did it on the byte component. Now here it's complaining that property byte doesn't exist on children with bytes I. Okay, I think like the way it should be is that it should have something like this, where there's a byte which is of type byte I. That should be. Did I create a unnecessary file? I didn't. Okay, so this is happy, and what we can now do is within the byte itself we can have a children, right? I think that should be it, but let me also destructure it from here, and that should be it. So now, I'm sorry I keep hitting the mic. So now if we go back to admin, so instead of having form next to, where is it? Yeah, instead of having it next to byte, it can be a part of byte, because that way they can be in the same container, right? So that is what we wanted actually. So okay, all right, I think let's see how it looks now. Okay, yeah, you see like it's rendering as a part of this container rather than separately. So but if I go to the home page, these are just rendering fine as they were before. So I think now the only thing left is just to theme it, and that's pretty much it, right? So yeah, I think let's use some emojis and all of that. Before I do that, like, because this is acting like a sore in my eye, I want to fix this admin link, right? So I want to add a emoji here, so let's search for a lock emoji because this is admin. Maybe like a key and a lock, right? So copy this over. Yeah, there are emojis for all the platforms, so that should be fine. Paste this here. Oh, okay, not what I was expecting. Maybe just try the log then. Come on, copy. But now it's still printing it wrong. Let's see how it looks here in the browser itself. Yeah, did I add it somewhere else where it shouldn't be added? It says somewhere in the imports. Okay, let's try again. Let's see. Yeah, this is certainly not the correct emoji, but then it's rendering fine here, right? So how about I copy this? Yeah, it wasn't really copying the right thing, maybe. But yeah, I think it should be fine. I think like the key thing would also work, but this is fine enough. And then I also want to make the size bigger here, so because this is a one-off thing, I'll just do it in line fonts. Size would be, let's say, 1.5 frames. How about that? Yeah, I think like this sort of pulls in the right attention, and then we can also, I think this is good enough because it's quite big. It should be fine. I do want to introduce more colors, like it's currently black and white, which doesn't look that great. But yeah, I think let's keep it like this, and let's go back to admin. Right, so actually it's not even admin, it's form, right? So going to form is defined in admin. So it's right here. We have the form. So form has a name, a checkbox, update, and a delete field, right? So I think we can have like these two showing up on the top and these two showing on the bottom, and that should be it. So where is the input, right? So this and this should be in a div called fields, and this could be, why is this not part of the whole thing? Let's make this another div called, this would be buttons, btns rather, and let's add the class name on this called btn as well, right? So yeah, I think okay, we broke something here, but okay, I think that is fixable. How about so this would be, let's add a class on this, the whole thing called form, right? And now going to global, background, imagine the background is black here. How does that work in that case? Okay, but then it's also like congested because of padding, so that wouldn't really work out, right? So we'll have to come up with something else. Maybe just do a color of black. How does that work? No, it doesn't work. So the only thing that has broken colors is just the button, so maybe we can just override them. Yep. And then, although the button doesn't look good at all, how about I go to admin, go to form for a second. Where is it? I just move form below it for a second. Yeah, now the problem is that it has too much margin bottom, I think. But I think that's easily fixable, right? That shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, so we can probably do a style, but yeah, this wouldn't work on this thing. So let's keep it back where it was. Go to global style and figure out something there. Okay. So we have a class called fields, and we have a class called btns, right? So both of these would be display flex. So that's first what we start with, and then what we do is justify content space between, because there isn't a lot of space anyway, so it's best that they take as much space as possible. And then we do a margin of unrem. About that, but then we don't want margin on the side, so we'll do 0 here. Okay. I think we did an input somewhere, so let me go back on the admin. In the admin, I want to do is search for input, add a class name of input. I think like this again works against the black background, but let's see here. So this would be form dash button, and then also form, and within that input. So that is fine. We also did input, I think, like did I not do? I think I did placeholder. So let's copy this over, go to dot input and paste them here. Yep. Okay, so now let's go to the button. Button has some padding on it. Let's copy that over. Let's go to input type, where type is basically checkbox, right? On this I want to apply a few properties. One is padding, and then we also want to add like border and all. I'm not sure like how well that would work, but let's see. So what just happened? So I have to go to btn. Yeah, we want this thing. No. So let me copy your what do we want to copy? The border, right? So let's see if this works. This should at least work. It isn't working, so maybe the selector is incorrect or something. So this is type checkbox, right? So yeah, it's applying, but then it's not reflecting very well. Okay, yeah, it wouldn't actually. So how can we change it? Can we do a height on it? I think height should at least work. 200 pixels. Okay, no, it doesn't work. How about padding also didn't work. So how about we do a custom checkbox then? So that would be, we have the file at the bottom here. So do we have a checkbox, right? So we have a checkbox here. Let's put it inside a label, right? So now how do we do this? Or how about we just put a label next to it, but then like we have to. So this is a label for this would have a ID of okay, this is going to be tricky, but then let's see. This would have let's say like a label of let's make it dynamic by saying this is check dash. This would be the dynamic part, and this value would be what can we get? Like, can we get form.id? No. We get form is, yeah, we are not storing the ID right here, I guess. What else do we get within this? Okay, we can get like byte.id, I think. Byte.id. Yeah, so this would be instead of quotes, it would be again a similar thing here. So check dash $byte.id, and then we close the paren again, but also close the backticks. How about that? So if we look at the console first, I think there is some errors. Component changing uncontrol type. Okay. Input should not switch from uncontrolled to control or vice versa. Decided. Okay, something has changed here. Yeah, just adding the ID shouldn't do that. Text content did not match. Oh, okay. Okay. On client it acts like this, on server it acts like this. Okay, so that is something we can fix. And then like this is also creating problems. How about we revert this back? Let's see how it acts then. So refreshing the page, I click on this. Yeah, it still has some concerns, so let's not shy away from doing this. Then in that case, so the input type checkbox should be display none, right? And then the label immediately next to it should have certain properties, right? So you could probably do a few things. So, but let's start simple by just adding a border of 5 pixel groove white. Let's start with this and let's see how it goes. Yep. And then this would also have a width of 50 pixels. 50 is too much, so let's do 30 in that case. Now the problem with groove is that it's not really visible, so let's do CCC. Yep, this looks better, although I'll say like it's not really easy to tell whether it's a checkbox or something else. But okay, so now if the checkbox is checked, right, so checked, dealing with this would be tricky. So we could probably do an after on the label. Let's also make the label position relative, right, so that I can make this after absolute to that. So I'll add check for example for a second, and then do a position absolute. Let's try this out. So if I click on this, I don't see anything. This could be because it's not getting clicked, is what I'm thinking. So we want to do a custom checkbox. Okay, the way they recommend is putting label and then input within it and then a span. Okay, I don't want to do this. I want to do like just a label and then that's it. So we did this, right? If it is checked, what is the ID and all that they are using? They're not using any IDs, so this is not something I'm trying to use. What we look at something else. DuckDuckGo comes up with the worst examples. So here they have a label right after the input, so this is what we want. Let's see this one. So yeah, these are custom. So the way they have done it is, let's make this bigger. Here's the CSS. Okay, this is all coming from Bootstrap. Okay, which is fine. So label has for and this is ID, so these should be matching, which is fine. Let's look at ours. Are they matching? So this has an ID of check dash this value and this has check dash this value, so it should be in sync. Yeah, there are two matches. If we search for it, yeah, these two are the matches for an ID. So if I clicked on it and then checked $0.checked, it is the value here false. If I click on it again and then check, it's true, right? So in case it's checked, do we write check like this only? Let's see, where is it? Yeah, this one. Let's look at this one. So if it is checked, okay, yeah, this is checked, right? So if this is checked, then on this I'm adding content. Oh, okay, I think let's add display block or something on this. Maybe that is what it needs. Maybe, but I'm leaning towards that only. Let's refresh. Clicking on this, okay, it doesn't do much. So does label support after and before? Is yeah, it does. So okay, where does this relative come from? How about now? Check. So if I click on this, I get checked, right? So this is what we want. Now let's use a check emoji. How about that? Check mark. Yeah, I think this is good enough. This will work in our case. Let's copy this over, put this right here and then try it out. Yeah, not the best looking one, but then should do its job. So we'll align it a little bit. We'll make it top minus 10 pixels maybe. Yeah, okay, that was perfect actually. So let's make this bigger. Remove this, add this, remove this. Yeah, all looks good. Maybe we can also do a, okay, we can't change the color on it, but then I think we can do like a filter, grayscale maybe 0.7. how does that look? Doesn't do anything at all. Okay, I wouldn't mind having this thing. Although like now this is done on the form itself. I'm thinking just like adding a divider. So on the form itself, let's add a border top 5 pixel groove SCCC. Okay, yeah, that wouldn't work. Okay, yeah, never mind. Okay, I don't think we can reduce the padding on the bytes though. So how about we go to bytes, or rather byte. The padding on the sides could be 1 ring. Okay, this looks better. And then on the bottom itself, it looks like there's a lot of padding. I think like there's some additional padding on the form. Maybe yeah, there is some here, right? So buttons have some padding, so let's get rid of that. So let's do buttons. Don't need margin bottom. Let's make this 0. Okay. And how about if we do this? Yeah, we still get a scroll, right? So that is something we want to address. I think like that's pretty much it, but I do want to address the mobile designs a little bit, and then also add that background, right? So let me quickly grab that. So we'll grab it from my other laptop and send it over. Okay, I think it's out of charge. Oh no, it isn't. I think there are few 3% charge left, so I think like we can try to do it within that background. Okay, I think yeah, I have the files. Let me download them quickly. So let me go over here. Okay, meanwhile let me also look at it on mobile screens, what it looks like. So yeah, this is taking too much space. This is not looking great either, so maybe this, all of this can come into a second row. This can be one column, and that should be it, right? Like the same thing on admin, I guess. If I come over here, actually just give me 1 second before I can pull out that image. Let me go on a quick secret. Okay, I do have the image now. So going back, let's make this slightly bigger. Yep. Okay, so let's set up the image first. I think we put it in the public directory right here. Right, so let's do that. Let me copy the image. I think it should be in the downloads directory. So it should be downloads. Come on. downloads and then background, and we'll move it to public, right? Hopefully it's there. So now if I look at public, yeah, we have a background.png, right? So the way I want to do it is just set it on the body. I don't know why we have this twice. Maybe we can just take this, move it up here, get rid of HTML altogether, and then this can be URL background.png. Let's see. Okay, it says it can't find the file. How is that? So let's look at app.tsx. App.tsx. The path it uses is ..back. Okay, so how do we access public directory, right? Like, are we using favicon somewhere? We are not, but we are using versal.png somewhere, right? Or is it automatically picking that up? It might be. I think it must be from the scaffolding. Okay, so let's go here, go to global, and then put all of this inside quotes, and then put a slash in front of it, maybe. Yep. So you see all of this. I think like it's already on repeat, so I don't need to do anything. But let's confirm. Let's make this look like this, and the background currently, why wouldn't you collapse or expand rather? Okay. Yeah, so the repeat property is initial. I'm not sure what the initial value is, but let's see here. Do we get a background repeat? Yeah, it doesn't really say. I think it's repeating, right? Like, because you see this star is here, and then there's this one above it. Okay, it's repeating just fine. Going back here, we have record, we have stop, we have name the recording. This input field is quite crammed. How about we add some, increase the font size on it, and also add some padding on it, right? So let's quickly do that. So I search for input. Let's add some padding of 0.25 rims on it, right? Maybe I think that's fine, and then go to take this font, go to placeholder. Okay, this is the same thing here as well, so let's make it 1 rem. It became slightly bigger, so do the same thing over here as well, so make it 1 rem. Yeah, do we have a height here? Okay, the height is this. How about we increase it, but then yeah, the button won't align. I think this is good enough. Now, yeah, we were talking about like doing a mobile fix, so let's put it in mobile mode. So do this, resize this bit, make this icon X. Okay, now if we look at the header, right? So header has display flex, but how about we do, let me do a global media, and max width would be, or rather let's do min width, or let's do max width only because desktop is already done, so max width makes sense. So max width would be, in our case, anything 768 pixels. Alright, so for header we'll say like we don't want display, just make to a display block. Right, and then the other header I had display flex here before, so let me add that back. Oh, come on. Display flex. Okay, let's save that and let's see. No changes at all. This should have worked. Media max width and all of that is fine. Have I also forgotten media queries? Is that it? I don't know. Media. Okay, let's go to global styles and see. So we have this here. Header is the class, right? So what we do? Display none altogether. Okay, so media's, yeah, this is fine. I'm just wondering like if I got something wrong. Maybe I can do like screen and, but I don't, that is not required, so that shouldn't have been the problem in the first place. Max width is 768 pixels. Header, we are saying it should be display block. So is header what has display flex, or is it something else? So header I'm trying to make display flex, but that is not applying actually. Okay. Oh, okay, yeah, we are not using the class, I think. How about that? Oh yeah, it works. Okay, and then we can also tell it that make it text align center. So this is all center aligned. Okay, I think we have admin in a separate row, and that's the thing. So how can we make that fix? Let's go into header. So we have admin here. We do have it here. Let's wrap this in a div. Put a display. How about we do this first? So this is what it looks like on desktop. Okay, I see like what the problem could be then, but then let's still try it out. So in our case, what we want to do is we want to add a class on this. This would be header admin user, right? So these two things are wrapped within this, and then if I save this immediately, this goes to hell. But let me do this. Let me go to global header admin user. This would be again display flex, justify content, space between. Let's try this. I think like this should go back to the way it was on desktop. It doesn't. And why is that? Okay. I think like what if we give it like width 50%? Width 50%. Yeah, I think that kind of works. So if we do what we have to give this to, yeah, the same thing. Width 50% here. So this is fine. Refresh this over here. And then let's resize the browser now because desktop is fine. Okay, Yeah, so on mobile the only thing we need to do is do a text align center, and then also for this do a width of 100%. Yeah, hopefully that does something. Okay, why didn't it move to the center even though the width has been set to 100%? Or is the width not applying? This is not, I think, taking the correct width. I don't want to see the console. It's still width. Okay, did I break the order or something? So okay, this should actually be above here. Let's go to where headers are. Right here. Yep. Okay, this looks fine. So the header is sorted. Then we have this section is fine, right? I was thinking something about it, but I can't really recall. This looks good. Actually, it's fine, I think. What else? What else is broken? Let's check on mobile. Oh, okay, yeah, this is not taking the right width. That is the problem. So, yeah, on where are we applying grid? So on bytes, let's take this whole thing. Right over here, we just need yeah, this thing should do it. Although I think we're still getting some okay, why is the laptop, why is it not responding? Okay, let's make this bigger and then see. Okay, I think it's fine now. The only thing that is not acting properly is this bit, so let's fix this as well. So this shouldn't be this shouldn't start or this shouldn't sit next to each other. This should probably be below it. Player upload, right? This would be display block. Okay, yeah, this is fine. How does it look on desktop then? Yeah, on desktop it's fine, but as we move towards okay, we just need to align this to the center as well. So I think like on mobile, the player, the audio should be like, can I do a text align center here? Would that work? No, it would not. But then if I do a text align center here, text align center, yeah, that works. So player upload, and then also what about this thing? So byte, what we do text align center, right? What was this before? Yeah, I think all we need to do is player upload and byte needs to be text center on mobile. So let's do that. TSC, does that work? Yep. Let's copy this over, and then we have byte, right? So byte means this thing. let's add space after each declaration. So this is fine. Yeah, this looks good. I think, yeah, it's much better than before. So I'm not happy with the checkbox actually, because it doesn't really seem like a checkbox. So maybe if we can fix the width, maybe with that we can address this, right? So right now its height is 35, so what if we make it 35 as well? Yeah, it looks more like a checkbox now, so that's one thing. So if I go to label, I need to open that. Label, so label should be 35. That's one thing. For the other, what we want is to reposition this check, so this should be left 10 pixel as well, I think. No, too much, maybe just 5. Top should be a little bit more, so about 15. No, it's actually maybe 8 then. Okay, this looks good enough. So if we make it bigger, if we inspect, if we go to mobile, yeah, all of it looks good. Yeah, I think we are good over here. Yep. Let's see as in logged out user as well. So this is a logged out user, so you get like you are not authorized, which is fine. I do want to change this. This is what I see. We do want to fix the date as well, so let's do that too. Admin. Okay, it's in parity. So on the admin page, yeah, we get this title, right? So if I go to admin, I don't think we need this, but yeah, let's still do it. H1, right? Let's make it rather H2 because we already have an H1, and this would be right, and then this can be how does, yep, how about that? Okay, I think the problem here is that it's getting a font weight. It's better to just make it, because there are too many styles, to make it a class name and then move it to global. So right over here, we'll just add title to be font weight would be normal, and then we also want font size to be 3 rems actually, and then what else? Text align center, right? So text align center. Yep, I think that should be it. Make this bigger. Let's take a look. Yeah, looks fine to me. Okay, I think this completes the UI as well for this. I feel I think this is good enough for now. So with this, we have cleaned up the UI as well. So I think let's remove the backlog, because we don't intend to work on it immediately. So why have it in the first place then? Right. So the other thing we have is, I think, like, with all the to-dos complete, let me commit this first and then we'll update the readme. So let's look at all the diffs, right? So we updated the readme file, we updated the bytes component to be function component. We make the markup, like mostly we made the markup changes to for it to how do I say, like, for it to work with the new designs. Right? That's the only intention that we had. What else? I think it is, yeah. Okay, and then there are like some prettier changes with that as well. And yeah, this is the CSS file. So I think with that we can commit everything and say, like, clean up the UI. We will commit this. So while it commits this, right, let's update the readme. So now let's do this, right? So I want to add a title called because we called it byte recorder. Yeah, I think, like, let's call it byte recorder rather than bytes recorder, because it's singular. So record sound bytes from your browser, right? That's good enough. And then what else? So let's add a setup section. Clone the repository, run npm install, run npm run dev to start the development server. I don't feel I'm doing anything that Next doesn't do anyways, but then I think, like, we are just adding those details here, and we'll say, like, to generate a production build. Yeah, I think that should be it. We can also do an architecture section. Architecture, right? So what do we have here, right? So the application is built on top of Next.js, which is internally using React for the UI and Node.js for the API functions, or rather, let's call it lambda functions. To record the bytes we use the media recorder API, which can access your microphone. The support is currently limited to there is no support in Safari currently, and some limitations in under the Blink engine. I think this is good enough. We store all the data on Airtable. The data stored is limited to byte name. So its name, its URL, and what else do we store? Just to be complete over here, I want to store all these details in the Readme. So let's see, what are we storing? We are storing name. I think like these are metadata, so I don't want to mention these very specific things. And user, for user we are storing name, email, and image. Authentication is done using GitHub. Authentication is done using GitHub, and it acts as the source of user data. The recorded bytes are stored on AWS S3, and the link. Okay, I think this is fine. Yeah, let's put it here. What else do we use? I think that's as an admin user, one can approve the submitted sounds. I think that's pretty much it. Let's add some screenshots, and that should be it. It's add a section for screenshots. Let me look up Ubuntu screenshot shortcut. Keep forgetting what it is, so let's look it up quickly. So we use shift and print screen. So I do want to take a screenshot of this section, so I'll do shift plus print screen and then do a screenshot of this area. Okay, and then I can do what else? Let's do admin as well. Shift plus print screen, so again this area, and let's do one for the recorder as well. Let's do something like, okay, didn't mean to do that. Did I just close the window? No. Let's move it to screen 1. Yep. Okay, see what I did. Let's move it here. I want to do shift plus print screen actually. We'll say recording 1 screen, shift plus print screen. Yep. Okay, I think this should be good enough. Let's now take a look like if it really took those correct screenshots, or I'm not sure, because last time it wasn't really doing the screenshots correctly. This looks fine, this also looks fine, and we have this one, so I think all of it is fine. I can take these three. Let's rename them first. Can I do a bulk rename? A rename. Can I do like dollar or hash pound 1? Yeah, I don't think we can do. Okay, automatic numbering, right? This is what we want. Yeah, rename. So let's cut these. Let me take them to bytes, and then let's paste them within screenshots directly, right? So screenshots, and paste them here. Let's close this. I can do this. Would be current directory screenshots 1.png. Something like this. So we'll do it 2 more times. R2 and R3. So that should be it, and yeah, with that we can get rid of all those to-dos. Should be calm. I think that should be it. I'm not sure if the images would come up side by side or how they would come up, but yeah, let's see. Also, it seems like my webcam has stopped working, so I think I might have messed it up by closing the webcam. Let's see. Yeah, my bad there. I'm not sure when I did this, but yeah, I think it's working now. Okay, so with this I think we are done with the update in Readme. So let's push this up, do a git commit -m update Readme. By the way, I think I'm thinking of one thing right here, that instead of putting the storing the data URI to converting it into AWS and then storing it on S3, I could also just store the data URI right here in this table. Although I'm pretty sure like I'll run into challenges with that, so I think it's fine that we have it on S3. Okay, so I've committed this, so let's make the browser bigger. Go to the repo first. Let's see if everything looks right there. Okay, so this is our bytes recorder. Record sound bytes from your browser, blah blah. We have the screenshots here as well, so yeah, I think this is fine, and we have the info, so that's good. Now the deployment is happening, but the preview is already there, so maybe we can take a look at that. So let's look. I think there must have been a deployment that was already completed before this, because this was the second commit. This is deployment to production. Okay, this is not looking like it should, so that is clearly not it. What about this? bytes recorder, yeah, looks right to me. So if I go to admin, I see like you are not authorized, which is fine. If I click sign in, I get redirected here. I click sign in again. Okay, something wrong here. Okay, did I not click it properly? Yeah, we are back here. So this seems fine to me. Can I play sounds? Now if I go to admin, okay, I'm thinking that on the home page we shouldn't show all the bytes, right? We should just show the bytes that are visible to an anonymous user as well. So let's see if we can do that quickly. So that would be fetch all. So this fetches all the items, but then we are not checking for anything, right? So if I go to fetch now, yeah, I think fetch all should take one more parameter besides the table, right? Like the table already has a default value. I think it should also have like show all or approved or all, right? Like so something like that. So if I go to fetch all, so but I don't think we can filter it here, so that actually is a conundrum. So this would actually, let's look at limitation, how we have done it there. So on the limitation end, we are doing a fetch all, right? Fetch all, but then here we are only looking for approved sounds, right? So let's do the same thing here. Let's just do approved. Let's not do a token dot authorized, but okay, I think admin is also using this, right? That would be a problem then. So if we look at admin, so admin uses the fetch API here as well. So and then because it's using the fetch API rather than something else, it's calling that, right? So we can't even pass parameters to it. Okay, this is tricky. Can we check like where the request is coming from and then accordingly work our way through it? Let's see. So the request, what does a request have within it, right? So a request dot query dot or request dot URL would be there, right? So URL, let's just log this, and we can probably do like a check based on request dot URL, and that should be it. So let's restart the server. So and go to localhost. So here in this case it should be coming from localhost, or actually it won't have any of that. I think it's coming from API/fetch, and then if I go to admin, I think it would be the same thing here as well. It's API/fetch. So maybe let's just use headers. Let's pass some headers and do that. So if I go to admin, right, in the header I could probably do could pass in admin, I'll say true right here, right? And then okay, does it not take boolean values? I think it doesn't take boolean values. admin true is not assignable to header string. Yeah, it doesn't take boolean value, so let's make it a string. I think then it should be happy. Yep. So we'll go to fetch. Can we check the headers? So can we do request dot headers dot admin? Let's log this out. Console.log. Right, so both of these like admin and the home page are requesting API fetch, but then one of them is passing the admin header. So based on that we can maybe do this, and this would be transparent because this is happening via API function, but we'll see like if this is visible within the request. So here it's undefined, which is good. Right, so if we refresh, I don't think it would be visible even here, but maybe on page switch it might come up. So if I go to now admin, yeah, here's the fetch request, right? So here we are, this is the request. Yeah, it's true here, but then it's undefined here because there would be a follow-up request. Yeah, it's going to be tricky. Either have a separate endpoint, because like I don't want to expose this on the front end as well. Although like if you have a separate endpoint, it would be visible here as well. So that said, I think we can probably, let's do it on using headers only. So if we have the headers, we can say like this would be request.header.admin. If that is, or byte is approved, like one of those two is true, then we'll do it. Why is this not declare but not used? Why are, okay, we didn't use token. Okay, that's fine. We'll get rid of this as well. We'll get rid of this as well. Okay, now we go to the admin. We would have a fetch here, right? So not this one. Yeah, I think this one. To this we pass the headers, I think here, and to this we pass admin, and we'll pass it true, right? Although I think admin true alone would be a problem, because we got rid of that check that whether the user has the token or not. So we'll have to go to fetch. We'll have to do git def. So git def here. Let me bring in JWT. So we have secret. Oh, we don't want secret right over here. We want JWT right over here. Okay, why is it not copying the right thing? Yank this, paste this here. Okay, secret is fine, and then we want the token as well, right? So we want to make sure that the token is there and it's correct and all of that. So now this would be that you have the token and you are authorized. So either these two conditions meet, or the byte is approved, right? So only then. Okay, with that, okay, why is this complaining? Next request. Oh, where is the CSS error coming from? But okay, this was fetch, right? So I think now we should be getting the right response back, hopefully. So on the admin side, we sent a request with the admin true, and we are getting all these results, which is good. But if we go here to byte recorder, on the home page we just get 4 of these, right? And this would not update. I think like it would update if I do a record stop and then do a upload here. It shouldn't show up here. Yeah, these remain the same. If I go to admin, yeah, it shows up here though. So okay, now it's throwing errors saying that record not found. How about others? Can I do update? This works. How about delete? Okay, again record not found. Although it did seem to have deleted it. Let's try again. So if I want to delete theming, it didn't throw an error this time. How about upload auth? Nope. Sign in. All looks fine. Going back here, let's record something. Hello, hello, hello. Name it something. Upload. It uploads it. Go to admin page. Click on delete. Yeah. So I think there's some issue here. So let's try to emulate it once more. So recording stop. We'll call it TTT. I'll click upload. That should all be fine, right? But if I go to admin, right, I'm on admin, and then this TTT, I think like if I try to delete it, it will throw an error, right? So I click delete. Yeah, it throws an error, but it goes away, right? So it does get deleted, but for some reason it throws an error. So let's see what the error is. Yeah, it does go away. I don't see it anymore. So this is an issue with this is an issue with, let's go here. This would be admin, and this would be, actually this would be the delete API function. So here what we are doing is I think we are catching this error here. Okay, let's see like if destroy gives us anything back, and based on that we can move forward. So it gives us back a promise of any. So let's see what we get back. We'll save it. Const a, and then just log a to see what it is. Alright, I'm going to restart the server. Let's record something again. Okay, so hello. I'll say hello with the triple O. Upload. Upload happened. Go to admin. Hello is showing up here. That's fine. I click delete. Yeah. So this is what we get. Like ID is null. And then ID. Okay, this is something else. This is the ID. We do get a Airtable error, right? So let's look at Airtable REST API. REST API. We didn't see this error last time, I think, from what I recall, but I might have missed it. But let's see. I want to delete a record in JS. So you do like pass it a ID. and that's pretty much it, right? Like there's nothing else, although like the record that we get back, right, like it has an top level ID at this one, so it should have been fine. Let me see, let me log the ID. Maybe we are passing it an array, maybe that might be the case, who knows. So now that we have logged that here, let's go back, let's delete this DSF. No, we are passing it the value. It still throws this error for some reason. I'm not sure like where this comes from. Like it says like error not found. So is it something after we delete, or something completely different? It's a bit difficult to tell, but let's see like if we get something on the front end as well, an error or something. So I go to networks tab, go to all, do a delete for wood. So update immediately fails. I think this is an issue with update, right? Update has an internal server error. Yeah. So yeah, let's look at that. So let's go to this tab and let's update. And who's calling update? Let's take a look at that first. So /update is called in admin whenever, yeah, okay, so update is called, but then this does an update. Why do we do an update here? Oh, okay, okay, I see what is happening. Okay, so we are triggering delete and also doing this as well. Okay, okay. Should we move this out of the form? I think that might fix it. So if I go to admin, go to delete, yeah, let's move it out of this. No, rather how can we address this? Like I want to keep it yeah, how about we don't make it a, yeah, it's a button, right? So this doesn't have a type submit, so ideally it shouldn't trigger the form at all, but let's check on that as well. So this is submit, right? So I'll say like this was called, so this will help us with that. Let me click delete. Yeah, this was triggered, right? So submit shouldn't be okay, yeah, but then this is what it is. So how about we make it a span and then theme it like a button, right? So although like button was just fine, let's try deleting this one. Does it not work? I'm confused. So if I click delete here, yeah, just delete it, right? Yeah, it's a button thing. So if I undo that change and then add a type on it, type would be does it not autocomplete? Yeah, button maybe. Let's see, so that we can still make sure it's a button. So let's delete this. Yeah, it's still no. Yeah, it's fine now. I think yeah, it's fine now. So let's take a look here. Yeah, it's not logging that error, so I think we're good. Let's take a look at the diff. So we need to remove our console log from admin, and where else? From delete. Yeah, admin and delete. So So this thing we can get rid of, this A we can get rid of, and then console.log we can get rid of. So with all of that, I think this error goes away. Then we have this one error. I think we refresh the page. So we have this issue, right? So text content didn't match. On server we get this, and on client we get this. So the way the DOM, like, or the date is passed is different on Node.js and on the client side. So let's take a look. This was on byte, right? So we had like new date and we passed it some date. So it passes differently on different environments, right? So the local date string is different in Node and in the browser environment. So I think we'll have to do it manually. We'll do this would be our date, and then we could do date or to local string, and this takes in, I don't know, so we'll have to look date, get date month. Yeah, so we'll just or we could just do like a get like a numbered date, right? That's better actually, but I think like month, readable month is much better. So let's do this. So let's do this would be our month, right? And then we'll do const let's do day for now. Date dot get date, and then we also need const year, date dot get year, full year rather. Okay, so now let's combine these all together right here. So this would be a backticks, and this would be day space month comma year, right? I think this should be good enough. Yeah, let's see. The date looks fine, but let's see if there's like a client server error. Now that we are specific, I don't think it should be there. Yep, looks good to me. I think we can commit all of this as well. So what did we fix here? So we fixed the date, we fix the delete error, right? So let's commit that. Save, fix date and delete errors. Okay. So this is deploying. Let's see. Okay. Apparently there's a user for this as well. Okay. Why is that? Oh god. I am so sorry. I think there might have been like yeah, I think like there might have been like audio coming in from two streams all this while. I'm really sorry about that, but yeah, I think it's something up with my OBS which keeps doing this. But okay, yeah, I think that's already happened. I fixed it now, but yeah, I think the audio might have been muddled up till now. Okay, so we have our production deployment done. Let's open it right here. So this is what we see, right? As an admin, I can see this, and all these sounds are here. This bit doesn't look. This should be differentiated some way, but yeah, I think it's fine for now. Yeah, I think like, let me log out. Let's see how it looks. Yep. So if I play something, hello. Okay. Yeah, I think this is good enough. With this, can we close this, or like can we do a I think we can do a temporary closure on this and move on to other things. So the next thing that I want to do is I want to take this listener and move it out into a separate application, and that is something will work going forward, right? So I want to build a bot that is highly configurable and useful to others rather than just me. I don't want to do it in Node, so I'll be spending some time thinking about how to do it. I'm most probably inclining towards either Rust or Go to build that bot. I am not good at either of them, so that's an opportunity for me to learn, and yeah, I think we'll figure it out from there. Let's also merge these. I think for good measure, it's important that we have all our dependencies up to date. So merge this. Yeah, right. Let's merge all of them, and then I can end in the recording. Let me open up Twitch. Okay, so this is React, quite important, but then these are just types. Okay, but yeah, it's good to have everything up to date. Quite important. Yep. All right. Yeah, I don't see any of the people I'm following is streaming, so no point of doing a raid, I think. But we can see we can raid somebody. It would be just me raiding, but yeah. So this can also be updated. I think Next is already up to date for us. It's just that the types were not fixed. Oh, okay. This is actually an update to Next, not really types. Okay, which is nice. I will have to look into all of this. There's a lot of fixes, it seems. Okay, and then there's an update to TMI. I think like TMI will anyways move it out of this, but till I do that, let's update this, and then finally we can pin all the dependencies. Okay, there is some issue here. Yeah, there are some conflicts, right? So I think like it does it quite immediately, but let's take a look at what is the change it was suggesting. Okay, so these two were sort of not pinned, so that's what it's suggesting. Okay, yeah, I think like there's an update already, so the conflict should be resolved. Let's see. Yep, it is doing something here. So it's deploying this, so I don't want to review the deployed code. I just want to merge it. That's pretty much it. Meanwhile, let me figure out somebody to raid. That would be fun. So yeah, let this complete. This hasn't deployed yet, is it? Come on. Okay, I'm not sure why it's taking so long. Although it just says 33 seconds, so it's not really too long since it started, but yeah, I do want to close it as soon as possible. Okay, let's take a look at the logs. I can't seem to wait so much. It's actually queued. I think it should be fine. Like if I merge it, it's just a update to package.json. Yeah, and I'll take a look at the production deployment after this. So thank you everyone. With this we complete the bytes application to a certain extent. Like I said last time, I do want to work on tests, so there would be certain streams where I'll just test this. In case there are some new features that I want to work on, I'll work on those as well, but this won't be the primary subject of my streams now. Okay, all right, thank you. So let's raid somebody.